Epic Universe just might have a major problem that nobody seems to be talking about. Hello everybody, welcome. We have new information that indicates Universal might be having trouble with one of its major attractions in Epic Universe, and that this attraction may not even be open by opening day. We are less than 2 months away from opening day, Epic Universe, May 22nd, 2025. Team member previews are in progress and Media Day preview is on the books. Now we have a rumor that annual pass holder previews might be available starting April 2nd through the 4th to be able to book an annual pass holder preview for some of the weeks in April or May. Now what's interesting is during all these previews and all these people going into the park and experiencing it and posting things on social media and getting fired, and all the people that are getting to do this, still nobody has gotten to experience Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. Absolutely nobody has got to experience this ride. It has been completely shut down. Word is the ride is not ready and is having tons of problems, and they just haven't been able to get it moving during the Epic Universe team member and family previews. Now, if you don't know a lot about this ride, it is set to be one of the most spectacular attractions ever made. It is going to be a wild elevator ride through the Ministry of Magic, the British Ministry of Magic. And you may be saying, an elevator ride? Like Tower of Terror elevator ride? No, not even close. It is literally going to be a wild, back and forth, sideways, side to side, slantways, vertical, up and down, moving elevator, just like in the movies. It can go all these different directions. It can go fast, it can go slow, and it is going to be such a cool experience. There are going to be chase scenes. There is going to be Dolores Umbridge reprising her role. There's going to be animatronics. There's going to be screens. It's just going to be amazing. Now, the ride vehicle system is essentially a modified, improved, advanced version of the Scoop vehicle system used for Spider-Man and Transformers at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. Very similar to that ride attraction, except the elevator itself, the vehicle itself, can extend upwards and down, not just side to side and rocking motions. It can go up around 10 feet high as well, to give you sort of that motion of going up and down and sideways and slantways. They want to have all that ability. But it is a very modified version of that Scoop system. Now, team members have been able to experience the queue. They've been able to enter into the Ministry of Magic, experience some of the Metro Flu system, see all of the areas, and supposedly, from what I'm hearing, it's absolutely spectacular. We have official photos of this location, and it looks out of this world. I did a whole video where I talked about concept versus reality and how they essentially nailed it. Like, it is ridiculous. And I said then, and I'll say it again, and I've said it in other videos, if this concept art that they did and these photos that they've now taken within the Battle at the Ministry, if that speaks to how we're going, what the rest of Epic Universe is going to be like, this is going to be the greatest park ever made, because that art looked amazing. The real photos looked even better. And so I just cannot stress how this attraction is going to be amazing if they can get it running. Now, unfortunately, they've gotten to experience the entire queue, but once they get up to the ride itself, they basically get asked to exit the building. So no one's gotten to experience the ride. Now, we just recently reported out on the fact that express passes are now available for Epic Universe. So even for opening day, you can literally get express passes. But what's important is I want to talk really quickly about what rides express passes will work for and what rides they won't work for, and a little bit about why. First, the valid rides. You can use the express passes on the following rides: Constellation Carousel, Curse of the Werewolf, Fire Drill, Hiccups Wing Gliders, Le Cirque Arcanu, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, Monsters Unchained The Frankenstein Experiment, Stardust Racers, The Untrainable Dragon, and Yoshi's Adventure. The 3 rides you cannot use the Express Pass on are Dragon Racers Rally, the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness attraction, and Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. Now, this reveals quite a bit about the attractions in Epic Universe and what's going on there that I don't think a lot of people are seeing or understand. The question really is, why would Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry not be available for Express Pass. What is the reason for that? Why would all three of these rides not be available? What's the situation? Why these three rides in particular? So in order to understand that, you have to think through three different variables that are used to determine whether or not a ride should have Express Passes. Those three variables are going to be popularity, capacity, and uptime. Let's talk about popularity first. No doubt about it, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Battle at the Ministry is going to be an insanely popular ride. Harry Potter, just in general, the Harry Potter lands and any Harry Potter attraction in any of the existing parks is crazy popular. So on the popularity scale, it's going to be at the top. Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. Again, it is going to be a very popular ride for a few different reasons. One, it's Super Nintendo. People go crazy about Super Nintendo. Two, it's Donkey Kong. And it's a brand new ride that is not available in the United States. It only exists over in Japan. And so anyone in the United States hasn't got to experience the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness attraction. You want to experience it, you got to go to Epic Universe in the States. It is also a ride that anyone can enjoy. All family, all sizes, it doesn't matter. Anybody can enjoy this attraction. So it is going to be super popular and crowded because kids, adults, everybody's going to be able to ride it. And then we have Dragon Racers Rally. Now, popularity-wise, I'm not sure it's going to be that popular. Probably going to be one of the least popular attractions in all the parks. It's a spinner. Not a lot of people like spinning. It's kind of a carnival ride. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I'm actually looking super forward to it because I love spinners. But I don't think it'll be a super popular attraction. Now let's move over to capacity. This is a big one. This is a huge factor when it comes to Express Passes. If we look at Dragon Racers Rally, which we just talked about, this has a very low capacity. It's a carnival style ride. It has to stop, it has to load, it has to start, it has to go through its cycle, it has to stop, it has to load, unload. It takes a while to load. And in team member previews, they already recognize this thing has a super bad capacity, super low. Like it is, they are having capacity issues real bad with this particular attraction. They learned that in previews. I think they knew it was gonna happen even before then. So it's gonna have low capacity. Now, Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, this has a horribly low capacity. Like, probably one of the worst in the entire park, with maybe the exception of the carousel. It is gonna be rough. The ride vehicle itself only supports 4 people. 2 rows of 2. 2 and 2 in the ride vehicle on a roller coaster. Very low capacity. So you look at Dragon Racers Rally, you look at Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, you got 2 rides right there with ultra low capacity. In addition, you have Donkey Kong that has super high popularity. So you got high popularity, low capacity equals Express Pass bad. Dragon Racers Rally, you have probably not nearly as popular as Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, but you also have really bad capacity. So bad capacity, somewhat popular, but not really, probably equals no Express Pass. Express Pass bad. And why am I saying that? Because the more people that do the Express Pass, what happens? The longer the standby line is going to get, and the worse. So you're going from maybe an hour-long wait in standby to a 2, 3 hour, 4 hour long line in standby, depending on how crazy the attraction gets. And I don't think Universal wants that for Epic Universe. They don't want to have super long lines that are like 4 hours long. They've already come out and say they are very much trying to pay attention to how many people are going to be at the park, and they want everybody to have a good experience and trying to minimize the impact of having too many people. Now I want to talk about a couple of other attractions that already exist in the world so you can get a little bit better understanding of capacity. So if we look at Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, that has a capacity roughly of 1,200 to 1,500 people it can cycle through in an hour. The Spider-Man attraction, Islands of Adventure, can put through around 2,150 people per hour. Forbidden Journey over there at Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Islands of Adventure, that can put through about 3,430 people per hour. And then a roller coaster like Incredible Hulk puts through about 1,920 people per hour. So those are just some rough numbers of attractions that you might be familiar with and getting a little bit of a better understanding of what capacity looks like and what is going to be a low capacity or a high capacity. Battle at the Ministry, we don't have exact numbers for, but we can make some assumptions. It is very similar, like I said, to Spider-Man. Now, it is more advanced than Spider-Man, and the seating, the vehicle, is a little bit different. The ride vehicle for Battle at the Ministry is essentially seats 14 people in one ride vehicle. I believe this is 6 in the front row and 8 in the back row. So that's 14 people total, whereas the Spider-Man vehicles, they have a capacity of 12 people in one vehicle. They have 3 rows of 4 people. So each ride vehicle for Battle at the Ministry has more people per ride than Spider-Man. However, it takes a little bit of a beating because of the ride vehicle system. Spider-Man has a lap bar that comes down, and it's not really a continuously moving ride, but it moves kind of quick. Like, it's got the cars sort of move forward, everybody hops in real quick, and then the lap bars sort of come down, and then it keeps running, and then somebody later on checks to make sure the lap bars are down and everybody's in their seat and everything's good, and then it just moves along its merry way. So it loads and unloads really quickly. Battle at the Ministry has seat belts, not lap bars. So seat belts is a little bit more like Tower of Terror over there at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And that attraction takes quite a while to load. They have 4 elevator banks that load simultaneously because this thing literally loads so slow. And they have 2 elevator drop towers that can run simultaneously. So 4 elevators load, and then 2 can basically be on the attraction and up and dropping at the same time. So it takes a little bit longer to load that attraction, and I think that's going to be the expectation for Battle at the Ministry. It's going to be a little bit slower to load and unload than Spider-Man. But that being said, I still think the capacity of the ride is going to be pretty decent. It should still be around the capacity of Spider-Man, maybe less, maybe somewhere between Hagrid's and Spider-Man from a capacity perspective. We'll see, maybe around 2,000 people per hour on that attraction. So it's very possible that it'll have great capacity, and very possible it could have some capacity issues. The third dimension I want to look at now is uptime. This is going to be another important one. This is where I think the biggest issue might just be for Battle at the Ministry. As I said earlier, this ride has had tons of problems. They haven't been able to get it going. They're still working on it. Nobody's been able to ride it. Allegedly, from rumor, there's been lots of problems with it. It hasn't been working well. I don't know if they've ever even gotten it to capacity. So let me give you an example of where that's been a problem in the past. We'll start out with Hagrid's. Hagrid's, when it first opened, had a pretty decent capacity, not great, but it also had lots of technical issues when it opened. When the ride opened, it could be down quite frequently. It took quite a bit for it to get going. The capacity was never where it was supposed to be. They weren't able to get all the cars moving on the track simultaneously. They had to really revamp a lot of the ways that they loaded and unloaded people. They had to change the lines, the shapes, the sizes, everything's changed to try to make this thing a little bit quicker and to try to keep it moving better. So it's taken quite a while to kind of smooth that out. And as you know, recently, Hagrid's was finally just being added to the express passes after being open for so long. Now, that wasn't just because of capacity issues, it wasn't just because of uptime issues, it was also because of the popularity. So again, take all those variables into account. How popular is it? What's the capacity of the ride? And how many problems does it have? Is it hard to keep up? You take all those variables into account and it says, yep, it should be Express Pass probably, or no, it shouldn't have Express Pass. Another great example of this is Gringotts, Escape from Gringotts that opened over in Diagon Alley. That attraction was atrocious when it opened. It was horrible. I was there. I've told you this before. 7 hours in queue I waited for that ride. By the time when we got up there, only one side of the attraction was even running. They didn't have both loading bays going. And even with the one loading bay that they had, they still had maybe half the amount of cars on the attraction that they were supposed to have. So way less capacity than they were expecting. And it was quite frankly a disaster for a long time. A lot of people said it opened when it shouldn't have opened. It opened way too early. They should have gotten it fixed and then opened it. They should have smoothed it out before they opened it. I don't know. I didn't say that, but I've heard people say that. So that's an indicator. There was a lot of problems on that, and this could be exactly what we end up with Battle at the Ministry. So if we look at all those variables together and think about Battle at the Ministry, highly popular, 100%. Like, it's going to be like droves of people. Capacity, probably in the middle. I don't know that it's going to have amazing capacity out of the gate, and I don't think it'll have horrible capacity out of the gates. Probably somewhere in the middle, decent capacity. But uptime might be where the biggest area of concern is. If they're having trouble, this much trouble now with the attraction before it's even open, who knows how much trouble they're going to have when it finally opens to the public and they have to try to keep this thing running for 12 hours a day. uninterrupted, without any breakdowns, no issues. I don't know. I feel like it's very possible we get to opening day and this thing isn't ready. And we get another Green Guts, where it's like some people are getting on, but you're waiting 7-8 hours for this attraction. Maybe it doesn't even open at all. It's possible. And so that could be why it's not part of the Express Pass. Looking at all those variables together, that could be the biggest reason why they haven't added to the Express Pass. Because if you pay for the Express Pass and you says you're allowed to go to all these attractions and then you can't even use it for Battle with the Ministry, you're going to be pretty upset and you're going to be frustrated. So I think it's a smart move on Universal's part, keeping Battle with the Ministry out of the Express Pass. Because it's just not worth it. It's not worth the pain and anguish and the frustration that people are going to have if they're not able to get on the Express Pass for this. And not only that, even if you can use your Express Pass, if it's down a lot and the Express Pass people keep getting to cut in the line because they paid to cut, what do you think that's going to do to the standby line? It's going to make the standby line 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times longer. And then people are going to be just like furious. Like, I waited in line 10 hours for Battle with the Ministry and I still didn't get to ride it. So I think they're making the right call not including it. I'm really hoping that they get this thing on track. I'm hoping that this is wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that's why they didn't include it. It could just literally flat out be a popularity and capacity issue and have nothing to do with uptime at all. The park may open on May 22nd with no hitches, and Battle of the Ministry is super easy and you only wait 10 minutes to get in line. Totally possible too. I don't know, just speculating here, but I want to throw my thoughts out. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Are you concerned that Battle of the Ministry might not open on time, or if it does open, it's going to be a real rough experience? Love to hear from you in the comments. Either way, I am pumped and excited to go to Epic Universe. I'll be there opening day. I've got my Express Passes for opening day. Hope to see you in line for these rides and attractions. If you see me in the parks, definitely say hello, because I'm going to be the one that has the stupidest grin on his face the entire time I'm there. Should be pretty easy to spot me. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this content. Until I see you next time, the noble way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.